What if I called somebody something like
the D word?
Yeah. I'd start taking my jacket off, but I don't think I'd pass my test doing that. But I am impatient.
Okay, thanks for being here, James. You happy with me recording this?
I am happy.
Yeah, brilliant. So we're going to do a mock test today.
Okay.
How you feeling about that?
Confidence.
Yeah. Overconfident?
No.
Boy racer style or?
No, nice and relaxed.
Nice and relaxed.
Calm confidence.
Okay, good. That's what I like to hear. How long have you been driving for? Go on.
I don't know.
Since
I've had a couple lessons with you. I've bits and bobs from me, laugh, I suppose.
Bits and bobs through life. So you've been driving since you're 10?
since 18.
18. How old are you now?
24.
24. So 5 years. Okay.
Yeah, but
bits and bobs. A
couple of lessons. Yeah.
So 2 hours lessons and the rest.
I've only had a couple of lessons of you. Yeah. If that's what you're asking me.
Okay. So we're going to do this. How a proper test would go.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So you're probably going to follow the sat nav for the majority of this.
Okay.
Do you remember there's 2 questions during the test?
I remember one.
Okay, so there's a show me question and a tell me question.
Okay.
Have you revised for your show me tell me questions or not really yet?
Yeah. No. Briefly, I know. Yeah.
Some of them.
Yeah, some of them.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll do a tell me question at the beginning.
Okay.
Anyway, so your tell me question is: how would you check the power steering is working before starting a journey?
Well, before turning the engine on, I would slightly move it.
Yeah.
And then I'd turn the engine on, and once I've turned the engine on, it will be able to move quite freely.
Okay. Good. And if it's not moving freely,
then the power steering's on.
Excellent. Power steering's not working. Good.
Yeah,
okay. All right. Sat nav set up. When you're ready, let's head off. Have you any questions or anything before we go?
Nope.
Cool. All right. Good.
Oh, not a good start, James. He didn't check his blind spot before pulling out. Now, this is a priority, guys. This is going to be a minor fault if there's no vehicle there, and a serious fault if there is a vehicle there, obviously, because it's going to cause an accident. Okay, James has just hesitated on the junction there. Nothing serious. But as you can see, he decides he thinks he's going to go and then he changes his mind at the last second. Happens to all of us, not a big deal. Just pointing it out.
Try and stay nice and relaxed. Yeah, you got this. I got faith.
James sees the car on the left. He checks his right mirror very nicely before going round. This is really good practice. This is showing he knows what he's doing.
After 200 yards, turn left, then go straight on.
Some good weather for this as well, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. No window wipers are on it.
Turn left, then go straight on. After 100 yards, go straight.
James sees the red lights. He changes lane quite late, but he does check his mirrors. Fair play to him. He then stops the car and goes into first. Now, ideally, I would have liked to see him slow down a lot quicker than this and then roll into first up to 3 car lengths away. But he couldn't do this because the approach was just too quick.
On, then keep left. Go straight on, then keep left.
The sunshine as well. This is ideal.
Yeah.
Like a dream.
See a rainbow next.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I took some cracking photos of a rainbow yesterday.
Is it?
As you can see, we're just talking about the sunshine in the distance. If you look, this is the worst time to drive because the sun's shining, you get the glare off the road and the sun's shining directly in your eyes. So at this time of night, guys, be really careful when you're driving around.
Keep left, then bear left.
Cheeky, wasn't it? I know.
Bear left, then take the third left. After 200 yards, turn left. Turn left.
James sees the oncoming car and there's a van parked on the left. He is approaching quite quickly, but he spots it clearly. He slows down and he stops to give way to the meeting traffic. Now this is very good. This again shows that he's fully in control of the vehicle. He knows what he's doing.
After 200 yards, turn left.
Okay, so this is an interesting one. The sat-nav is right in the middle of letting James know in 200 yards he's turning left. I know he's got to turn left in 200 yards. He should know he's got to turn left at 200 yards. But for whatever reason, you can't tell it from the video, but we seem to be going too fast everywhere. These are very narrow roads. These aren't big, wide roads. And yeah, the speed limit's 30, but it's a case of asking yourself, is it safe to do 30? And with a pouring down rain, we've got torrential rain, soaking wet roads. I don't agree. I'm not feeling that comfortable with the speed that we're going everywhere.
Turn left.
Now, just to add the cherry on top, James realises last second that he's approaching this corner too quickly. What he probably should have done is just given up on the corner and gone the wrong way. Said, I've missed the corner. There'd be no minor fault and no serious fault for that, you know, if you just go the wrong way. Unfortunately, he doesn't. He tries to do everything very last second, ends up going on the wrong side of the road. That is just a straight out serious fault. If there's a car on the other side of the road coming out that junction, obviously it's a crash.
I hate silence.
After 200 yards, turn right. Then, at the end of the road, turn right.
He cannot see a thing, bless him. So James has spotted the car on the left. He's checked his central mirror and his right mirror. He's safely gone around it. Again, great observations. Really shows that he knows exactly what he's doing and he's in control of the vehicle, keeping me more comfortable. James stopped brilliantly at the stop sign, and it'd be rude for me not to mention the double rainbow on the right. I mean, come on, you don't see that every day.
After 200
Talking of a rainbow.
Turn left.
Oh, yeah. Double. Double was my eyesight.
James's approach to this stop sign seems absolutely fine. He's checked his mirrors, he's signalled, all perfect. Unfortunately, when he actually takes the corner, he takes the corner too fast. And because of this, he mounts the curb. Now, mounting the curb is a fail. Clipping the curb, that is controversial. But a mount, we know what a mount is. It's game over. Now you can see James is constantly checking all three mirrors. He is showing some amazing observations. He does clearly know what he's doing. He's just a little bit rough around the edges and he's taking everything too fast. He's very rushed. He's already said that he's quite a rushing sort of person.
After 200 yards, go left on the roundabout. First exit.
A bit more under pressure than usual, or
Yeah, slightly. Yeah.
what's making you feel the pressure?
I don't know.
You could say it. Is it the camera?
No, it's not the camera because I keep forgetting that side, to be honest with you. But
I've just reminded you, so that helps.
I think I don't know.
Is it the quiet?
Yeah, the quiet.
You feel a bit more on your own.
Yeah, the quiet, and also the fact I know I'm on a test route,
Okay.
so like I don't Honestly, I haven't done a test route before, so that's. But I don't know. I don't feel like it's affecting me driving. I feel like I don't know. I might be overthinking things a bit too much.
Yeah.
But
It tends to be what people do, to be honest.
The worst thing you can do as a learner is overthink it when you're on your test. All they want to see is the same driving that you've been doing with your instructor. They don't want to see anything new. Stick to what you know.
Thinking it's right, so God, and overthinking it's what can destroy the test, basically.
Yeah.
You drive. You've been
And I
driving with me for a while, and you've been absolutely fine.
Yeah.
You know, suddenly because it's a.
Now, I've really started to open up a conversation with James here because I can see he's very nervous. He's driving quite erratically, or it feels like it in the passenger seat anyway. And I know he's going to benefit from a bit more of a conversation.
Everybody does, so it's like self-pressure, I think, more than anything.
Yes. Something that you really want to do.
Yeah.
Which can be, really helpful and.
Yeah, in some ways, yeah.
Absolutely.
First exit.
But then you can't be your own worst enemy.
Yes.
We're approaching the dual carriageway from the slip road. James has been gathering speed on the slip road to meet the traffic at the same speed. He's already been looking at his mirrors all the way down to try and get an idea of where the best gap's going to be, again showing a good understanding of how to use a dual carriageway correctly with slip roads.
How do you feel about dual carriageways?
Yeah, okay, yeah. Oh, can't take the indicator off though.
Had lots of practice, has it?
Yeah, plenty of practice on them. Competent on how to use them. I think having a sat nav like this also helps.
Really?
Because obviously with lanes and know what lanes you need to be in when you're coming off exits and whatnot.
Yeah.
Basically tells you, so it's always good.
Trying to see where directions are. It's good.
Well,
I said it, not you. Is that what
you're not from round either, are you? So I'll give you that one.
After 800 yards, take the exit, then turn left.
Is it heating up?
Yeah, I get a bit warm.
Take the exit.
I'd start taking my jacket off, but I don't think I'd pass my test doing that.
Not while you're driving, it's not a...
James jokingly suggests that he might take his jacket off while during his test with the examiner. Just to clarify for anyone out there, while on your test, it is just driving. No drinking coffee, no taking your clothes off, no playing with a dog. You know, just driving.
But could you say to the examiner, could you mind if you pull over for a second so we take the coat off?
Yeah, I'm sure he'd be pretty understanding.
Are you sure? Would he?
I would be if I was an adjudicator or an examiner, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd be absolutely fine with that. It's supposed to be comfortable.
Yeah. I think, like I say, he'd prefer me be driving relaxed and comfortable rather than getting heated up and smashing in the back of someone.
No, if you did it again and asked to put your coat back on, then he might not be too happy.
If you look at this white car on the right, he changes over a solid white line, which isn't actually legal, and it would be a test fail, but he does it anyway into James's lane, and he seems to have upset James a little bit. So James then proceeds to ask me, is it okay to call someone a dickhead on your test? Answer, no, even if they're being a dickhead.
Nah, mate. What if I called somebody a something like
The D word?
Yeah, on there.
Well, if you call someone a D word on at any point, what is that? Is that a positive thing?
No.
No. What would you call that? If you heard someone do that on the road when they're driving, what might you call that?
It's aggressive.
Aggressive driving. What's the other word? Road. Rage.
Yeah, road
rage, maybe. Either way, is that going to lead to a positive driving outlook? No. What's it going to lead to?
Him thinking
something.
Yeah.
And do we know that D word person's motivations?
If in that, for example, like somebody who cuts you up, or I don't know, or into the right lane and comes across. Why is the sat nav split into blue and green there? What happened, like?
She just wants to go on a different route, that's all. So yeah, we'll go with the right and round back. That's it.
That's so confusing.
It's alright, this is all good.
Third exit.
So in that situation, how do you know that guy's wife's not in hospital?
Yeah, I know that, but
so
the hospital's the other way, so he's...
I'm not saying he's going to visit her in hospital, I'm saying how do you know she's not just in hospital and he's on his way to Morrison's to go and get some supplies for her?
James is correct, the hospital is the other direction, but even so, we still don't call people dickheads.
So you're perfect and you've never made a mistake?
No, I'm not, but I just feel like some mistakes can be deadly for people, can't they?
They can be, absolutely, absolutely. And that's why driving is so important, that we're not aggressive and that we let small things go.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah, you're right.
Life's too short, to be honest. You know, just got to remember, you don't know everyone's circumstances.
Yeah, I wouldn't personally do that anyway. I wouldn't call somebody I'm just thinking if somebody did accidentally slip it out on the test, would he go against them?
Now James, again, is just trying to clarify, if someone's acting like a dickhead, is that then okay to call them a dickhead? Still, the answer is no. Don't call people dickheads.
For your failure as well, so why should somebody doing that to you on your test and you calling them out on it, they're bad driving, go against you?
Because if they did that to you on your test, as long as you dealt with it correctly,
yeah,
you
then
fail.
But then dealing with it incorrectly would be me saying
you unsafe on the road.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say that we don't all feel like, you know, someone...
And what I say here, life is too short to let the small things get to you. If no one's perfect. If someone does something stupid like cut you up or makes a mistake, let it go. You'll have a far better day if you do.
But a lot of times there's old people or...
Absolutely. It could be anything.
I'm really joking anyway.
Total balance.
That's it. I think I'd be able to bite my tongue for an hour and a half on a lesson or a test.
An hour and a half?
No, an hour, it's an hour, isn't it? Is it not an hour's worth of driving? No.
It's 38 minutes long.
Oh, right, sound.
James says he'll be able to bite his tongue for an hour and a half during his test. Just to clarify for anyone out there, your test is between 38 and 40 minutes, not an hour and a half.
Second exit, then turn left.
Well, here we go. I'm sure he said that word then.
I think he was just politely letting him know that he was there.
Yeah, maybe.
After 300 yards, turn left, then go right.
The lights have gone amber. James is immediately seeing them, showing he's got some great awareness. He's seen the people standing there as well. He's already slowing down in good time. It's keeping me comfortable, and it's showing again that he knows what he's doing. We're already doing 33, 34 in a 30 zone. This is too fast and you're looking for trouble. Just need to bring it down there. Always keep an eye on your speed. We're also turning left here and we're still doing 30 miles an hour and we're really approaching that junction quickly now. Need to bring it down. That approach is too quick and I'm feeling uncomfortable. Now this roundabout gets a bit interesting. For some reason James's positioning goes off. He's gone a little bit wide here, and if you look at the taxi behind him, it ends up they sort of zigzag each other. And it really comes down to James's positioning. Isn't hugging the roundabout like it should be for turning right. He then should have come off in the left lane, but he doesn't. He also comes off in the right lane. He then has to zigzag across the road to the left lane. This would end up being a serious fault because he really confuses the taxi driver behind him.
On automatic.
Yeah. I think I wasn't even paying attention to him.
Press it again.
There hasn't been there hasn't been any rain for a while either, has there?
No. Doing some good dry wiping though.
I was just too busy focusing on what was
you're
on the
doing
road.
a good job.
Even wipers don't distract me.
No. Or is that showing lack of awareness?
Now, I am distracting James here by talking to him, and because of this, we're going to blame it on this anyway. James doesn't see the car on the left that is parked half on the road and is going to cause us to have to move across, and he doesn't do any observations, which is dangerous, so it does become a minor fault. Again, there's two more cars on the left, and again, for whatever reason, James has forgotten to check his central and right mirror before going around the cars. There could be a bike overtaking, there could be another car overtaking. This must happen every time you have to move that car across the road to the left, central and left, or to the right, central and right.
But they might ask you what you do for a living.
Yeah. Can't tell them porn star.
Definitely. You could tell them that, actually, yeah. They might not believe you.
If I were you, I wouldn't tell them you're a porn star, but that's just my personal preference.
It makes me sound a bit more interesting, doesn't it, I suppose, rather than saying, I'm a roofer. Perhaps.
James also says that it sounds a bit more interesting than a roofer. Maybe it does, but the examiner might be a bit more understanding of why you want to complete your test if you say I'm a roofer, because obviously you need to drive from house to house. You don't need a car to be a porn star.
But then he said 20 zone down there, and then the sat nav says 30.
Yeah, so what does that tell you? What do you think you should listen to?
The street signs?
The street signs.
I don't know, but then if you're following the sat nav, you'd listen to the sat nav, wouldn't you?
No, you'd always listen to the street signs. Sat navs.
James is talking about the speed on the sat-nav. Do we listen to the speed on the sat-nav, or do we listen to the speed signs? The round circular signs, they are orders. You ignore what the sat-nav says. You only follow orders on the signs. You can use a sat-nav as guidance. However, I have known a number of occasions where students have failed because they didn't know what the speed limit was and they followed the sat-nav. And the sat-nav is not always up to date, so be very aware of this. The signs are priority.
And it'd be misleading.
Yeah. I can remember my dad taking me somewhere once when he went off a dead end, like a cliff edge. We was following the sat nav, and he told us to go down the street, and if it was pretty dark. But luckily, obviously, we saw that the road ended, and at the end of where the sat nav was starting.
We've just gone over a speed sign that says 20 on the road. It is an order. The sat nav showing we're doing 21, 22, so we're actually probably doing closer to 25. We are going over the speed limit. We're very close to getting a serious fault for this. Need to really be aware. Don't get distracted too much by people talking. If you need to, tell them to either be quiet so you can focus, or just focus on the road and say, I'm sorry, I just need to focus. Very important.
We would have gone off like a cliff edge, like. Wasn't one of the old sat navs. Obviously, it hasn't been updated for years, and
there's no road there.
Yeah.
Just a river.
So it wouldn't have been very good if we listened to that sat nav.
A huge hole in the ground.
But now it says 20, so maybe the 20 doesn't start until down here a bit, and then it ends again now.
I did see the 20 sign.
Oh, you did?
I did see one, yeah. It was by the school.
Oh, right, yeah. See, that sat nav seems pretty accurate, considering it says 30 again now. So.
It's brand new.
Maybe is that the one I'll use on my test, or will it be one of theirs?
It'll be one of theirs, but it is the same one.
Right. Oh yeah, I can remember you telling me that last lesson actually. That you brought this because it's the one that they use.
That's it. When it's safe to do so, can you pull over on the left?
Yeah.
A few things to say about James pulling over here. Again, he checks his mirrors after signalling. Not the end of the world. At least they're checked. At least he's made sure there's no bike there or anything undertaking him before pulling over, which is the safest thing to do. Now he pulls over nicely, He's got a nice approach. Got to be a bit careful here because he starts to coast a little bit on at least 2 occasions. You can't see it because I haven't got a camera on the clutch. That will be a further investment, but he is starting to coast. Now, those are both minor faults. On the positive, he finishes the manoeuvre nice and straight. His wheel is nice and straight. Always try and finish your manoeuvres with a straight wheel. It makes life a hell of a lot easier. Don't try and turn the wheel while the car is still. You'll damage the tracking, you'll damage the wheels. If you have to, then you have to, but I wouldn't make a habit of it.
Excellent. When it's safe to do so, continue on.
Unfortunately, James does again forget to check his blind spot. Now, on a motorbike, this is called the lifesaver check, and for good reason. This will save your life, okay? If that is the blind spot, if you do not check there, there is every chance that a car is in that blind spot, and it will happen to you because it happens to everyone, and it's a very scary moment when you realise. So always check that blind spot, make sure there is nothing there, no car, no bike, nothing at all.
Okay, when it's safe to do so, pull over on the left again.
Now, I'm a bit mean here. I make James pull over again here because I know he's not checked his blind spot the first time. So let's have a look if he checks his blind spot the second time. If it was just a one-off, all can be forgiven. Let's have a look if he does it again. If he does it again, that's 3 times that he's not checked his blind spot. And as we know, 3 of the same category of minor fault do become a serious fault. And this would lead to the end of a test.
When it's safe to do so, drive on.
After 200 yards, turn right, then turn left.
Don't want to get mad, are we? Point blank refuse.
Hey?
You just point blank refuse to walk in front of me, for God's sake. I suppose on your test you aren't looking for you to be rushing out anywhere, or you're waiting for you to do it in a safe manner.
How long did you test?
36 minutes.
38 minutes.
38 minutes.
Okay. So if you do the test quicker, does the test finish quicker?
No.
No. Absolutely right. It's for 38 minutes.
Yeah.
So if you set a junction for 10 minutes because it's not safe to go, then what happens?
It's taking time away, it's killing time, I suppose.
Well, it does kill time, but more importantly, the examiner's going to feel safe and understand that you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you bully your way out and slow a car down,
then it doesn't do good, does it?
I don't think
it'll come in time.
Just a quick note here, James is in quite a rush for most of this. As he mentions, how long is the test? 38 minutes. It doesn't matter how quickly you complete the test, your test will be 38 minutes regardless. The examiners are not looking for you to rush anything, they're looking for safety. Safety, and comfort. So always ensure a junction is completely clear before pulling out.
See, I know I could have gone, but obviously I didn't want. You don't rush, do you?
No.
But I am impatient.
Now, James has already just said again he's impatient. Now, in his defence, bless him, This is currently 4:30 at night and we're at a very busy junction at the best of times. As there wouldn't be any tests at this time, I'd like to think that this junction wouldn't be this busy when taking a test. Unfortunately, we are doing it at this time, and I'm starting to feel very nervous because James has already said he's impatient. He wants to go. He's saying he would go if I wasn't in the car. So this is starting to make me a little bit uncomfortable.
Turn left. After 200 yards, turn left, then turn left. Turn left, then turn left. After 100 yards, turn left. Turn left.
So James starts changing gear halfway around this corner. He really should have had better awareness, assessed the junction prior to arriving to it and changed gear beforehand, not during.
After 80 yards, turn left. Then you have reached your destination.
So pull up next to the silver Vauxhall.
Yeah, and then reverse power up.
That's it. Apologies, I wasn't very clear, was I?
No, it's
Turn
okay.
left. Then you have reached your destination.
Is it okay though?
What?
Then carry on.
It's hard when the leaves are down as well, isn't it? To be honest with you, you can't see the curve.
No.
Now, as James is pointing out, it is quite difficult because you can't see the curb all that well because there's a lot of leaves on the floor. Unfortunately, this isn't going to make any difference. There is still a curb there. You need to use any means necessary and make sure you do not hit that curb. And as you can see from the car stopping, he does actually hit the curb.
Doesn't matter how close you want me to the Vauxhall, or
Within 2 metres, the most important thing is you don't hit that curve.
do I have to reverse it in like that, or is that
Yes.
okay? Can I approach it? Let me go again then.
That's it.
Is that that's done? That's done. Alright, mate.
Alright.
Yeah.
Alright.
I wasn't sure if you wanted me like, do you know what I mean? I kind of come back forward if I took it too wide, too far back. Can I bring it back forward to where they wanted me to park, or
Okay.
or do people the preference to?
For your parallel parking and your forward bay, reverse bay parking, you can go forward once and come back once to correct.
And that's it. Yeah.
Okay. As long as you don't hit the curb, which is what you did.
I hit the curb.
Yeah.
Oh.
Even forgetting that, don't worry about it. Okay. Turn the car off then.
The leaves didn't help me then, though.
No.
The leaves didn't help. I'm not making excuses, but
You're not making excuses.
I am.
You are.